tools built for startups provide remarkable speed and agility. But these tools lack the security and privacy that enterprises need. Once your data leaves your network, it's out of your control. This is a huge problem. When your information flows through third-party systems, all your secrets are at risk of being exposed. Enterprises can protect themselves with private networks, but then they lose those cutting-edge tools. You can try using general-purpose products bundled with your enterprise suite, but they're not built for developers, and people get frustrated. Mattermost was built for enterprises like yours. It offers the features of collaboration products on an open-source, enterprise-grade platform with unlimited customization through plugins, APIs, and the full product source code, and the kind of lockdown security and privacy you can't get with SaaS services. Are you ready to bring the speed of startups to your enterprise? Learn more at Mattermost.com.
As your team and cloud infrastructure grow, it becomes difficult to manage access to so many virtual machines and cloud applications. You may need to run your applications on untrusted networks, on the edge, or even on IoT devices. Providing secure access to SSH nodes, Kubernetes clusters, and web applications means juggling multiple complex and proprietary tools that don't always play nicely together. It gets even more challenging if you consider a revolving door of engineers and contractors who need convenient and secure access. And as you grow, staying compliant with new and existing regulations can present its own set of problems. Sounds like you'll need to deploy an army of security engineers. Well, you don't have to. Already trusted by industry leaders, Teleport makes it easy to access your cloud infrastructure and applications, keeping track of your authorizations, and helping you ace your audit. Teleport makes it easy to give your engineers and users the right access for the right duration. Teleport authenticates through your identity provider, offering role-based access to your servers and applications that expires automatically. Teleport gives you activity logging, session recording, and role-based access control regardless of where your servers and applications are running. Plus, it's designed to be compliant with the toughest regulations. You get zero trust access for SSH, Kubernetes, and cloud applications running anywhere in the world, from your cloud account and on-premise servers to self-driving vehicles and edge devices. Find out how Teleport can secure your infrastructure, provide access to cloud applications, ensure visibility into user behavior, and cure your compliance headaches for good. Teleport is easy to install, and best of all, it's open source. Download it today. Teleport. Zero trust security that doesn't get in the way.
Hello and welcome to Conf42 Golang 2021. We've got a pretty amazing lineup this time around, featuring tracks from getting started to lessons learned in Go language. So, say hello to the Gophers from the outer space. You can join our Discord server if you want to interact with speakers and other attendees. Just before you get there, make sure to read the code of conduct. This event was made possible by Mattermost and Teleport, Gold sponsors, Silver sponsors, and media partners. Let's start big with the featured talk. Jesús Espino, full-stack engineer at Mattermost, will review how struct embedding, instrumentation, and code generation can be used to improve performance and usability in your Go applications.
Hi everybody! During my talk, I'm going to explain how we leverage struct embedding and code generation to build a layer-based architecture that provides a good separation of concerns around cache, instrumentation, and other layers that we have built. Also, I want to explain you the process that we follow to evaluate different alternatives and why we selected struct embedding over others. Also, I want to explain a bit details about struct embedding and the different pitfalls that you can find there. I hope you enjoy it and see you there.
Let's open the Getting Started track with Go from Zero to Hero with Miriah Peterson, data engineer at Weave.
I'm really excited to present to you a lot of the ideas I've been working on bringing new people into the Golang community, how to introduce new developers who've never coded before, and really make Go have a much lower barrier of entry and really be something that people from all walks of life can jump into.
In the next talk, Hüseyin BABAL, software development lead at Hazelcast, will show you how to start Golang development with production-grade best practices.
In my current company, we are building software as a service product, and I can say that the Golang is very important language on our side to implement our microservices. In this session, I will show you a couple of best practices about Golang in order to let you do a fresh start. Beside this theoretical information, I will do a live demo. You will learn how to declare a variable, how to create functions, how to do unit testing, and also how to use Go modules to initialize a project. At the end, we will generate an artifact out of this Golang project, and we will use it inside the Docker image.
Now let's discuss channels and Go routines. Concurrency for beginners with Jayaganesh Kalyanasundaram, SRE at Google.
Not so long ago, I was trying to learn the language Golang myself, and then it always seemed very similar to C++ or Python, the other standard languages, with all the similar syntaxes with slight changes. But then I realized that Golang has an immense possibility to exploit the concurrency in a totally new level. In this talk, I'll be discussing the topics like channels and the Go routines with a small example of Mozart to show the power of concurrency in Golang.
In the next session, Sylvain Combraque, software developer at letuel.coop, will introduce you to his own Go project.
Hello everybody, today we'll talk about the Go learning and specify in my case the Go learning by project, a cache system called Soin written in Go. I'm Traffic helper, Traffic ambassador, and an active open source contributor and freelance too.
Have you ever wondered how Scaffold, Helm, and Bazel can boost your Go development experience? Matan Cohen, software development lead at Wix, will make it crystal clear.
It occurred to you that your local development experience is bad and you are waiting a lot of times for builds on the CI, or locally it's not suits for you. And when you need to integrate some stuff with external dependencies, is taking you a lot of time. Join me on this talk, how to make your life easier when you're developing in Golang with a Scaffold, the local Kubernetes development tool. So join me, waiting to see you guys.
Oliver Fuerst, lead developer at RestorePoint, will show you how to automate every aspect of your DevOps workflow using Golang.
We use Go for our main product as well as for DevOps automation, and this is what my talk is about. I will show you a few of the internal tools that we use to automate part of our DevOps.
The security track opens up with quantum-resistant native Go programs. Take the quantum leap with Mathilde Raynal, lead developer at Kudelski Security.
During my presentation, you will learn about post-quantum cryptography, a topic that might seem scary to some, but I'll try to make it as fun as possible. I will talk about the dangers of quantum computers, the impact it has on you, and then introduce one solution, our quantum-resistant Go library. Together, we'll discuss its API and performance. I'm already looking forward to your questions and insights. Thanks for joining us.
In the next session, Mohammad Shahbaz, developer advocate at Magic, will show you how to secure your Go APIs with decentralized identity tokens.
In my talk, we will learn what is decentralized identity tokens, how to get one, and also how to secure your API using DID token. And what is magic, what is authentication, what is authorization. So do watch my talk and learn more about building a Go APIs and securing your Go APIs.
Every Chief Information Security Officer's first 90 days on the job is the next topic introduced by Gordon Rudd, CEO at Stone Creek Coaching.
I'm going to talk to you today about information security and specifically how to be a Chief Information Security Officer.
The next track will cover some useful Go frameworks, opening up with Marco Nicola, software developer at Exop. He will show you how to deserialize Python objects in Go using GoPickle.
It's always fun to play around with many different programming languages, but then as soon as you have to move a bunch of data from one language to another, things can start getting annoying pretty quickly. Please join me if you want to know how you can easily deserialize Python objects in Go with the help of a library called GoPickle. I hope to see you there.
Creating immersive generative art using Go is the next talk by Preslav Rachev, the founder of PSV.
Hi there, Gophers. I'm the author of Generative Art in Go. On the surface, this is a book about finding the unexplored, creative side of our favorite language. Yet it's also about my personal journey of rediscovering the joy of programming after many years of working as a software developer. These are the two different stories I would like to share with you in my talk. While we won't be able to cover the whole universe of creating art with code in my talk, I'm sure that it will light a spark of enthusiasm for many of you. Remember, there's a hidden artist in all of us. We just have to find it and embrace it. See ya!
In the next talk, Moritz Eckert, Chief Architect at Ageless Systems, will introduce you to confidential computing with Go.
In my talk, I'm going to give you an introduction on what confidential computing actually is, what problem does it solve, and why this could be exciting for you. I'm giving you a hands-on experience on building Go microservices for confidential computing applications, and give you a brief outlook on how to scale and deploy them in a cloud environment. Thank you very much for joining in, and hope to see you at my talk.
Ent is an entity framework built for Go. Learn how to use it with Dmitry Vinnik, developer advocate at Facebook.
What do most applications do these days? They interact with data one way or another. As your app's scale increases, it becomes more challenging to manage its database, schemas, queries, and constraints. These challenges are why a technique called Object Relational Mapping, or ORM, was created. At Facebook, we tend to think of data modeling in graph concepts, and as we were working with Go, it led us to create a new open source project called Ent. Ent is an entity framework for Go programming language. This framework provides developers with graph-based object relational mapping, and this talk will learn how to use Ent when dealing with data schemas, constraints, and queries. Looking forward to showing you how powerful Ent is.
It's time for the deep dive track. Go big with Apache Kafka, thanks to Lorna Mitchell, developer advocate at Avon.io.
I'm going to be talking about Apache Kafka, and in this talk, well, I'll introduce you to Kafka, so that's a good start. I'll show you how you can use Kafka from your Go applications. We'll talk about schemas and also about how to communicate about the data formats that we're using and what the options are for that. Right at the end of the talk, I'll give you a little introduction to an open standard that's designed for describing event-driven systems called Async API. So join me.
Coming up next, Ishuah Kariuki, principal backend engineer at Hover Developer Services, will introduce you to terminal emulator basics in Golang.
Hello, I'm a software engineer based in Nairobi, Kenya. Our mission at Hover is to build an inclusive internet. This means building technologies and services that will enable developers in emerging markets to build for the community around them. My talk is titled Terminal Emulator Basics in Golang. The idea is to have a better understanding of terminal emulators and the TTY subsystem. The first part of my talk will deal with the history of terminal emulators. The second part is an interactive code lab where we will build a basic terminal emulator. Stay tuned.
Now let's learn how to create blockchain distribution with Go. Please join me in welcoming Luis Cardoza Bird, the founder of Devotion.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this session. In this meeting, we're going to be talking about building blockchains on the go using gRPC.
Ilya Kaznacheev, technical lead at MTS Cloud, will show you how to simplify the implementation of complex domain models.
In my talk, DDD and FSM, I'm going to share how we implemented complex and long-running processes using the domain model and finite state machines to organize the logic within them. You will learn what state machines are and why they are useful for backend development, how to use domains to organize complex business logic, how to implement parallel distributed processes based on state machines, and how to deal with common problems. See ya!
Using ArcGo to continuously test the quality of your architecture is the next topic by Francisco Daines, senior software developer at Walmart.
I'm really excited to present you ArcGo, a very simple testing tool that I have worked on. This tool is focused on checking if our artifacts complies with a set of architectural guidelines. So if you want to know more about how we can use ArcGo to define our architectural guidelines and to continuously check if our artifacts complies with these guidelines, please join my talk. See you there.
Mahendra Bagul, software engineer at InfraCloud Technologies, invites you to play with some tools from his Golang toolbox.
My topic revolves around kind Kubernetes in Docker, Nginx ingress controller, and secure gRPC server. In the demos, we will be creating kind-based Kubernetes cluster. We will install Nginx ingress controller on top of that cluster, and we will run the gRPC server as a pod on that cluster, and then we will expose that pod using service and then eventually using ingress to the outside world. Then we also have got a node gRPC client which will try to reach to the secure gRPC server running on a kind-based Kubernetes cluster. So the communication from client to server, it will happen over the MTLS. Stay tuned. Thank you.
WebRTC, the secret power you didn't know your Go has, is the next talk by DuBois, developer at Apple.
Hi, the project I work on is called Pion. Pion is a open source collective for building real-time communication software in Go. It's completely driven by individuals. So if you're not familiar with real-time communication, Go is making a big splash in this space.
In the last deep dive talk, Vincent Lesierse, solutions architect at AWS, will show you how to build apps in the cloud using Go and the AWS CDK.
In this talk, I would like to show you how you can use CDK. CDK stands for Cloud Development Kit, which is a tool that allows you to describe your infrastructure as code using the programming language you already know and love. Very recently, you can also use Go as programming language. And with this talk, I'd like to show you how you can deploy your application on AWS completely written in Go.
The last but definitely not least track at the conference is Lessons Learned. Learn how to create organizational culture conducive to release reliable, maintainable, and high-quality software with Dana Scheider, senior software engineer at Envato.
Hi everybody, I'm coming to you today from Melbourne, Australia to talk about software quality management in the absence of dedicated QA staff and what software engineers can learn about quality from the manufacturing industry. I started off in tech as a quality engineer before becoming a full-stack Ruby on Rails developer and eventually landing in my current role, where I developed a comprehensive set of quality process recommendations that have been adopted throughout the organization. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll join me in choosing your own QA adventure.
Mofizur Rahman, developer advocate at IBM, will tell you how his team accidentally created a cloud interface on top of the IBM cloud.
This is a story about cloud automation and how we used Go to improve a process that was heavily manual and took a lot of time and effort from our engineers. In this story, we'll share why we ended up creating a cloud on top of our existing cloud. Hope to see you all there, and hopefully this will be an educational experience and give you some ideas if you're trying to create an interface to simplify your cloud operations on whatever cloud provider you have.
Piyush Verma, the CTO of Last9.io, the whats and whys of concurrency primitives in Golang.
Over the years, I've seen a lot of code being refactored. Every time there's a marginal change in complexity because of some concurrency primitive. And I really wish I knew some of these things, which I probably will talk about, and that could actually save a lot of man hours and a lot of toil.
And that wraps it up for Conf42 Golang 2021. As always, free RSVP unlocks all the content straight away. If you want to have a chat with speakers and other attendees, then please make sure to join our Discord server. There is a giveaway, there are a couple of Conf42 cast episodes, so please stay tuned for all the good stuff. Big heads up to all our speakers and sponsors for making this event possible, and to all of you for attending and being with us. Stay safe and have an excellent weekend.